The war in Ukraine has once again highlighted the devastating efficiency of low-cost, first-person view FPV drones. In one of the most dramatic strikes to date, Ukrainian forces reportedly destroyed a massive Russian convoy valued at tens of millions of dollars, sending shockwaves through Moscow's military command. The convoy, which included a mix of heavy armor, supply trucks, fuel carriers, and advanced weapons systems, was advancing along a rural road near the contested front line. According to intelligence sources, the vehicles had been redeployed from Russia's reserves to strengthen the offensive in the sector. However, Ukrainian reconnaissance units, using both aerial surveillance and ground informants, tracked its movements for hours. They patiently monitored every turn and paused until the convoy reached a narrow choke point where its maneuverability was limited, setting the stage for an ambush that would change the tide of the battle in that area. At the critical moment, a swarm of Ukrainian FPV drones launched into the air, each controlled by skilled operators who had spent months perfecting their deadly craft. The drones flew low over fields and treetops, avoiding radar detection and minimizing their visibility. Within seconds, they locked onto their targets. The first wave struck with brutal effectiveness, slamming into the lead and rear vehicles simultaneously. The resulting fireballs cut off the convoy's escape routes, trapping the column in place like prey caught in a snare. Chaos erupted instantly among the Russian troops. What was moments before a structured and confident movement of armored steel turned into a death trap. Explosions rocked the line of vehicles as one drone after another slammed into tanks, troop carriers, and supply trucks. Soldiers were seen abandoning their positions, some firing blindly into the air in a desperate attempt to hit the drones, while others fled into nearby fields. The narrow road became a fiery corridor of destruction, lit up by burning vehicles and shrapnel scattering across the battlefield. Footage released by Ukrainian units shows the harrowing details of the strike. One drone is seen diving directly into a fuel truck, causing an enormous fireball that engulfed several surrounding vehicles in flame. Another drone plunged into an advanced electronic warfare system, its destruction symbolizing Russia's failure to protect itself from the very technology it feared most. Each hit was precise, deliberate, and devastating. The air was filled with the roar of detonations and the rising black smoke that could be seen for miles. Russian soldiers, caught completely off guard, scrambled desperately for survival. Eyewitnesses from nearby villages later reported seeing troops abandoning multi-million-dollar machinery and running into the fields, some dropping their weapons in sheer panic. The drones, however, were relentless. Several operators redirected their drones to chase fleeing soldiers, cutting them down before they could regroup. For many, there was no escape. The drones hunted with an unshakable persistence that turned the convoy into a scene of utter carnage. Military analysts were quick to weigh in on the consequences of this operation, calling it one of the most financially damaging strikes Russia has endured in recent months. Initial estimates suggest that the destroyed equipment, including modern tanks, armored supply carriers, and missile launchers, was valued at tens of millions of dollars. Beyond the sheer financial blow, the psychological impact on Russian forces was immense. as their most advanced assets were reduced to burning wreckage in minutes. The effectiveness of the strike highlighted a growing truth in modern warfare: cost no longer determines power. A Ukrainian FPV drone, often assembled for just a few $100s, had the ability to destroy machinery worth millions. This imbalance has reshaped the battlefield, making heavily armored convoys once considered unstoppable juggernauts into vulnerable targets for skilled drone operators. Warfare has become a contest of ingenuity, and Ukraine has proven itself highly adaptive in exploiting these technological advantages. Reports suggest that the psychological damage inflicted on Russian troops extended far beyond the ambushed convoy. Units stationed nearby were reportedly demoralized, with some refusing to advance into contested areas out of fear that similar drone ambushes awaited them. For soldiers already facing low morale, the knowledge that even the most expensive armored columns could be annihilated so swiftly was crushing. Fear of the unseen drone now hung over every move they made. Strategically, the loss of the convoy dealt a heavy blow to Russian operations in the sector. Without the reinforcements and supplies it carried, offensive pushes slowed, and logistical chains were disrupted. Ukrainian commanders quickly sought to exploit this opening, pushing forward in limited counterattacks to reclaim ground. The destruction of the convoy was not only a tactical strike but a strategic disruption that reshaped the dynamics of the battlefield. International observers were quick to note the broader implications. The ambush strengthened Ukraine's argument for increased drone and technological support from Western allies. Analysts pointed out that relatively small investments in drone programs were yielding disproportionate results, inflicting losses on Russia that traditional artillery or airstrikes would have struggled to achieve. This battle, one analyst remarked, is proof that innovation beats brute force.